Welcome to Debt Weapon. So, you step out of bed, you get ready for the day. But what if I told you your everyday morning routine is actually a calculated, unseen assault? Today's explainer is diving into some intense source material that uncovers a massive conflict hiding right in plain sight. We're talking about a dark financial system where corporate power, chemical engineering, and your own human biology violently collide.
Ask yourself this. Why is it that, despite hitting the gym and eating right, your drive just inexplicably crashes? Why are men in their absolute prime, walking around feeling completely drained, literally carrying the testosterone levels of an 80-year-old? Now, society usually just blames stress, right? Or getting older. But the data from our sources suggests something far more deliberate is going on.
The source material outlines a genuinely chilling theory, the invisible chemical strike. It argues that every single morning, millions of us are willingly participating in a strike against our own biology. From the literal second you turn on your shower, you're lathering yourself in industrial cocktails. And these aren't formulated for your health, they're engineered for massive corporate profit.
You always have to follow the money. To put this into perspective, just one woman, sitting on a staggering $100 billion fortune, controls nearly half of all skincare brands through L'Oreal. Alongside giants like Unilever, these massive corporate cartels have built an inescapable monopoly. They aren't just selling you soap, they are selling a carefully crafted illusion to mask a ridiculously profitable system.
And the sheer scale of this biological burden, it's massive. The average man absorbs 85 entirely unregulated chemicals every single day. For women, it's 168. According to the investigation, the vast majority of these ingredients just completely bypass FDA regulation. The authors basically argue that the public has effectively become unpaid lab rats in a global, multi-billion-dollar experiment.
Section 1. Weaponizing estrogen imitators. The paraben problem.
So how exactly do these cartels execute this strike? Well, the sources claim they literally weaponize estrogen imitators. Take parabens, for example. They're these cheap preservatives used to prevent mold and keep products sitting on store shelves for years. But once they get inside the human body, they act as estrogen mimics. And remember, your skin is like a sponge. These toxic chemicals seep directly into your bloodstream, completely bypassing your digestive filters. Your body's biologically tricked into thinking it has way more estrogen than it actually does.
According to the sources, the consequences of this daily exposure are horrifying. The data points to a direct link between these estrogen mimics and plunging male vitality. We're talking lower testosterone, dramatically reduced sperm counts, and abnormal, slow-moving sperm. It's a compounding biological burden that is systematically degrading human fertility.
Section 2. A disturbing arsenal of toxins. What is hiding in your bathroom?
Let's look at the actual toxins hiding behind these trusted household brands. Axe body spray, for instance, is loaded with PFS. Those are forever chemicals that stay in your body for your entire life and are directly linked to fertility issues. Or consider dry shampoos from major brands. They were recently recalled for containing benzene. That's a chemical so toxic the CDC warns even trace amounts can cause leukemia. Then you have Pond's using octanoxate, synthetic filters well known to disrupt your thyroid and brain signaling.
Now, as the money just keeps piling up, you have to ask yourself, how far does this racket actually go? What's the ultimate endgame for a beauty industry that operates with near total impunity? Well, the source material reveals some operations at the very highest levels that are, frankly, deeply unsettling.
The investigation highlights a highly controversial, almost dystopian practice at the top of the market. According to the text, A-list celebrities and the ultra-rich are paying upwards of $650 a session for elite rejuvenation facials. The catch? They use harvested infant foreskin cells. The sources argue this fuels a massive global industry, literally profiting off high-value biological material just to service elite vanity.
Section 3. The profitable sickness cycle. The trap is set.
So why on earth does the medical and beauty establishment just allow this to continue? The sources outline a perfectly designed, inescapable trap. Step 1, consumers use these heavily marketed, toxic cosmetics. Step 2, their hormones crash and their skin degrades from the chemical exposure. And step 3, those same consumers return right back to the exact same corporate system, paying top dollar for pharmaceutical solutions like ED medications and dermatological repairs. The text argues it's brilliant but sinister. You're sold the poison, and then you're sold the cure.
And that brings us to a pretty harsh confrontation.
The source material poses a really direct question to you. Are you going to remain a willing cog in this machine, stripped of your natural testosterone, quietly addicted to industrial cocktails, or are you going to wake up to the dark financial and biological reality of this system?
Section 4. Escaping the chemical trap, reclaiming biology.
The sources frame escaping this chemical trap as a necessary act of rebellion. It really is a choice. On one side, you've got toxic industrial cocktails derived from crude oil and packed with estrogen mimics. But on the other side, you have natural, fatty acid-rich alternatives. The text specifically points to products like Evil Goods Whipped Tallow Honey Bomb, which uses grass-fed beef tallow and manuka honey. It's presented as a total rejection of corporate control.
And here's the crazy part. According to the explainer's sources, over 250,000 people have already made this pivot. They're actively rejecting the pharmaceutical and cosmetic systems, cutting off funding to the corporate cartels, and switching back to natural basics to reclaim their energy and their hormones.
The ultimate message from this investigation is crystal clear. Declining testosterone is framed not as some random biological accident, but as the direct byproduct of a financial system that prioritizes shelf stability over your human vitality. The authors strongly urge readers to stop lathering themselves in these corporate halo products and instead take your biology back into your own hands.
We'll leave you with this final, provocative thought from the source material. The trap is completely visible now. The chemicals are documented, and the profits are public. So will you continue to fund the cartels that are poisoning you? Or will you break the cycle, reclaim your biology, and stay dangerous?